Spark plugs. Spark plugs are an essential component of a vehicle ignition system. A spark plug is an electrical device used in an internal combustion engine. They are responsible for igniting the fuel-air mixture. As part of the engine's ignition, the spark plug receives high voltage electricity by ignition coil or spark plug wire, which it uses to generate a spark in the small gap between the positive and negative electrodes. The timing of the spark is key factor in the engine's behavior, and the spark plug usually operates shortly before the combustion stroke begins.
Starter. A starter is a part of the car that uses a powerful electric motor and a solenoid to crank or rotate the engine. To start, the starter needs high current from the battery to work properly. The solenoid is on/off switch that controls function of the starter circuit and delivers battery power to the motor. The starter is usually located behind the engine, under the intake manifold.
AC compressor. An AC compressor is a pump that spreads and pressurizes the refrigerant in your air conditioning system that puts the refrigerant under high pressure before it pumps it into the condenser, where it changes from gas to liquid. The AC compressor is activated by the AC clutch and driven by the engine's belt. One of the first signs when AC compressor might be bad is when the dashboard AC vent is no longer sending cold air inside the car, and/or fluctuating air conditioning temperature or noises coming from the AC compressor.
Radiator. A radiator is just one part of a complex cooling system that's designed to keep a car's engine operating at just the right temperature. A radiator is, in essence, a heat exchanger that compresses to water tanks that are linked together by a core made up of myriad narrow tubes. As the car travels forward, cold air is forced between these thousands of narrow tubes, and in the process draws heat out of the coolant. The cooled fluid is then pumped out of the other end of the radiator and back to the engine.
Brakes. Brakes are mechanical devices that inhibit motion by absorbing energy from a moving system. Pressing the brake pedal forces fluid out of the master cylinder along the brake pipes to the slave cylinder at the wheels. The brakes may be disc type or drum type. Brakes are your vehicle's most important safety system.
Exhaust manifold. An exhaust manifold is a cast iron or stainless steel assembly that collects engine exhaust gases from the engine cylinder and delivers it to the exhaust pipe. It's attached to the cylinder head of the engine. The manifold is linked directly to the cylinder where gas and oxygen mix together before being ignited by a spark plug. Once the fuel has been burned, the cylinder's exhaust valve opens up to allow the waste gases to escape, sending them out to the manifold. Most exhaust manifolds feature an oxygen sensor mounted near their exit, which checks the level of oxygen in the exhaust gas and transmits that information to your vehicle's engine computer.
Master cylinder. A master cylinder is a hydraulic device that converts force into hydraulic pressure. The master cylinder is a braking system component that helps push fluid through brake lines to the brakes themselves. It contains two chambers, each with a piston and a spring separating them. When the brake pedal is pressed, the pistons push the fluid through the brake lines, creating pressure that squeezes the brake rotor.
Engine car parts. Engine car parts are the components that make up the engine of a car. They include the engine block, the cylinder block, the cylinder head, the crankcase, the pistons, the crankshaft, the camshaft, the timing chain, the valve train, the valves, the rocker arms, the push rods, lifters, the fuel injectors, and the spark plugs. The engine block is the main part of the engine and has holes from the cylinder and passages for water and oil flow. The cylinder block consists of cylinder, the port of the valves, and the passages for the cooling water. The cylinder head and the crankcase are attached to the cylinder block and the engine block respectively.
Power steering pump. A power steering pump is a centrifugal vane type hydraulic pump that pressurizes steering fluid through high-speed rotation. Its power source of the hydraulic power steering system. Power steering is a system for reducing a driver's effort to turn a steering wheel by using a power source to assist steering. The pump converts mechanical energy into hydraulic energy through the engine as the transmission medium, and the steering gear converts hydraulic energy into mechanical energy through the hydraulic oil output of the pump.
Rotors.
A car rotor is a circular metal disc that connects to the wheel of a car and works with brake pads to slow down and stop the vehicle. The rotor is attached to the hub by shaft that spins when you drive. When you press the brake pedal, the brake pads press against the rotor with a set of calipers, creating friction that reduces the speed of the wheel.
Pistons. A piston is a cylindrical metal component that moves up and down in the engine cylinder. It is fitted with rings that seal it tight against the cylinder wall. It is attached to the crankshaft by a connecting rod which pivots on a gudgeon pin. The piston transforms the force of expanding gases in the cylinder into rotation, helping to move a vehicle. Pistons are the main moving parts of a reciprocating internal combustion engine.
Serpentine belt.
A serpentine belt is a single, continuous belt used to drive multiple peripheral devices in an automotive engine, such as an alternator, power steering pump, water pump, air conditioning, compressor. Serpentine belts are very important. If broken, it can lead to a sudden loss of power assist for the steering system.
Turbo. A turbocharge is a force induction device that is powered by the flow of exhaust gases. It uses this energy to compress the intake, forcing more air into the engine in order to produce more power. Turbocharge makes up for the inherent deficiencies of some naturally aspirated engine, allowing the engine to increase its output power by more than 30% without changing the exhaust volume.